Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Now, today's video is going to be very different compared to the usual stuff, and that is because today I'm going to be talking and covering the Path of Titans modding situation. If you don't know what this is, you might not be in any of the modding discords, such as like Primordial Tyrant or Divine Beasts, but basically, I'm gonna read something out from their Discord. It's a screenshot of an announcement they sent out. I'm just going to read it out for you, just so you can get the general gist of what this video is going to be about. So, let's get started. Hey everyone, as many of you know, we have a highly ambitious Titanoboa mod planned. Originally, it was meant to showcase my skills in the Unreal Engine pipeline. Lately though, I've cooled on the idea. Hot modding can be creatively rewarding, but it is also becoming a very toxic scene. I've seen too many modders working for free get harshly criticized or humiliated for their hard work. That kind of behavior isn't encouraging innovation, it's driving people away. Part of my vision for Divine Beast has always been to give creators a platform to grow with us. We want new talent to learn, experiment, and improve. Toxic behavior and unconstructive criticism are halting this vision and making people quit. I also feel like I need to stand up for my fellow modders, big and small. We at Divine Beast have a sizable community, and with that comes a responsibility to support creators rather than let negativity drive them out. To those who support and encourage modders, whether seasoned or new, I love you. Your positivity is what keeps this community alive, but the negativity on YouTube, Reddit, and even the official pot Discord is crushing starting creators and stifling growth. I also want to call out other modding teams and the Alderon devs. If you happen to read this, please stand up for the creators. Encouraging healthy collaboration and protecting modders from harassment is key to keep this scene alive. Because of all this, Titanoboa will be delayed for every instance of unconstructive modder hate I see towards our team or anyone else. I'll consider extending the delay or even cancelling the mod entirely if negativity continues to push people out. Community, stand up for the creators who give you free content, call out toxic behavior, and support new talent. The constant stream of negativity is harming the community and preventing growth. Thanks for reading and for supporting the people pouring their time and passion into the scene for free, Doc. So, what does this all mean? Well, it means that if the community doesn't stop harassing modders and absolutely going too far in terms of hate and toxicity when talking about their mods, then simply mods will be cancelled and removed. Now, I also have another screenshot, which I'll get into later, showing that it's not just DB that will do this. Because, you know, they started it, but the following screenshots, which I'm going to show right now, are from a wide variety of mod groups. So, we have Primordial Tyrants, straight from Nautilus himself. Then we have Reptilio, then Chimera Creations, Wrath of Goliaths, KTO, and even Project Hybridize, I think that's how it is. A new one for me. And it's clearly a widespread issue. Feel free to pause the video and read some of these. They're basically all saying the same thing. And it's gone on far too long. It's already had an effect on a couple of mods. And the following mods have either been discontinued or taken down by the owners or makers due to backlash from the community. That being the K23 Alien mods, Doc J's Monsters, David Rosa's Patchy Rhinoceros, and the Ecrix. Anyone remember that funny Abelisaur, the Ecrix? And a couple of more mods, which I forgot, honestly. Some of these, such as the David Rosa Patchy Rhino, have not just been taken down, but have had all their files removed. As you can see in this screenshot from Phalong, he's pretty much deleted everything from it, because the hobby of modding has started it's only bringing toxic thoughts due to the imprint from the mod being in the game because of how toxic people were towards it. So he's just decided to basically get rid of it. The only thing left are a couple of skin files. Don't know what they're going to be used for, but yeah, it's gone. That Patchy Rhino is no longer in the game. And it isn't just the mods that are going away. Some of the people who are making the mods are genuinely leaving to other games or stopping altogether, or in the case of Doc J, leaving to make his own game for his dinosaurs. Now, at what point does a community have to be so toxic and awful that a modder leaves to go make their own game for their own mods. Not out of wanting to own a game, but simply because they want to keep enjoying what they're doing. I think that is crazy. And it's all down to the Path of Titans community being completely way too toxic and aggressive. Now, we're at the part of the video where I just want to make something absolutely clear. Well, a few things actually. One, I am not singling out any specific people out here, mainly because that's wrong. It shouldn't be done no matter what you do, you should not be singled out. Or at least that's just my belief. And two, there is a straight up difference between constructive criticism and bad-mouthing and harassment. Now, this is something that far too many people of the Path of Titans community do not seem to understand. They seem to treat constructive criticism as just being really nice, and then straight up bad-mouthing or harassment as just like being slightly rude, which is not the case. Sending threats, hate speech, or other forms of verbal abuse, and even death threats, which I can't believe death threats are even an option for some people. You know, it's not even just pop modders who have got that, it's even the devs of the game. You know, for Tyranitar, they got actual death threats for that. And so have modders, such as Phalong. People have wished him death simply because he made a couple of mods. Like, it's insane. And it's never okay. You know, not just in Path of Titans, but this is never okay. You know, especially online. It's more prone online, it's not okay wherever you do it. And it's especially not okay on Path of Titans to be sending it towards people who spend their free time and their hobby for fun to make something that they want. It's free, it's optional, I always say this, you are not forced to use any of the mods. If you don't like it, suggest a change that will help improve it, or just ignore it. It's very simple. It's very simple. I can't believe how simple it is. And yet, people can't seem to understand that. Like, again, if you simply do not like a mod and want to either get it out or have it changed, simply say something like this. I don't like this part of the mod because it looks bad. Or you could say something like this. I don't like this mod because it would be better if this part was changed to this. You know, just some examples of nice feedback. But also feedback that is not only nicer for the person who made the mod to read, but also can possibly even help to make the mod better for everyone. Now, I personally wish this was the default for not just online, for not just Path of Titans, but for online as a whole, but it isn't. Because the default for most of the players in Path of Titans is simply just using blind rage and aiming hatred towards the person behind the mod, not even the mod itself. You know, I don't even like every mod. For one, I personally do not like the Dominus mod, because it can do its charge bite in the air. Do I go harass XR and tell them that they should stop modding, quit, and they're awful? No! No, I do not. I simply say, I don't like it because of that. I've asked them to change it, they said no, that's it. At the end of the day, that's that. Like, that is where the line should stop, you know? Feel free to complain, sure, but not to the actual modder in terms of going to harass them, or even threatening them, or anything worse. Now, I myself cannot do anything to stop this. However, there is somebody who can. Have a look at these screenshots. This is from Alderon Matt, who is, I believe, either a co-owner or full owner of Alderon Games, and Path of Titans, and he mentions that he not only can, but will ban people who continue to do this form of harassment for modders. Now, it's not just banning. I believe he also has court orders that he could do to stop people playing or going near the game completely. Now, why would you even want to do that? Simply because of how bad some people are. Genuinely, some people are so disgusting when it comes to this game. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not pointing anyone out, but there are some awful human beings who decide to play Path of Titans, and they do not hide it at all. You know, you could be the worst person ever, just don't show it. Just keep it to yourself, man. But most people who are like that, they do not. They genuinely will just throw it out there and expect everyone to just sit back and take it. And unfortunately, not we, but the modders have. They have just backed down, buckled to the toxicity of the community for far too long. And I think now they're trying to... Well, not trying, but now they're pushing back. They're getting Alderon involved, they're threatening to stop modding or cancel mods. You know, people want new things, and you only get new things if you deserve the new things. And you do not deserve new things if all you do is belittle and berate people who are putting their free and spare time into making those new things. I think it's genuinely horrible what some people have said. I myself have seen this happen live, like during a conversation on Discord, and I get it. I do quickly just want to mention this. Now, not everyone has to be nice. It's the internet. Not everyone's going to be nice, blah, blah, blah. That is 100% true. There is always going to be bad apples. That does not mean it should be the norm or the majority to harass people over some free, optional to use creatures in a video game. In a video game, by the way. They're free, optional creatures in a video game, and it gets people this void raged, basically. Like, it's genuinely insane. Now, I'm going off script here. This is more of just a part of a rant. I genuinely do hope that the Path of Titans community changes, and I will be reading all of the comments on this video, and I'll be replying to more than what I normally do, because I genuinely do want to make sure this point gets across properly. So if you've got any questions, let me know down in the comments, and I will happily answer all of those. You know, but please, just... it's got to stop, man. It has got to stop. I do want to just quickly reiterate that feedback is not the issue. You know, you can give feedback, and it won't be a problem. Modders can take having someone not like their mod. That is it. It is not out of pride of, my mod must be perfect, everyone must love it. That is not what is going on at all. I could go to all the modders in part and say something about all of their mods saying, I don't like this, because, and it could be better if. And what would their response be? They would simply say, okay, we will or we won't do this. That is it. It is simple as that. It is constructive criticism. That does not mean they have to decide to agree with you, but it means that you are helping them, or at least trying to help them, whilst criticizing their work. Rather than something like, I hate you, you're awful, you should quit, Path of Titans modding should only be for experienced creators who don't just pour out garbage. That is something I've seen said quite a lot, which, first of all, where do you expect people to get good at modding if they have nowhere to practice? Path of Titans is a pretty good game to practice. It's not a finished game, you know? You can basically make whatever you want. There's no limits, I believe at least. I'm not a modder myself, but I'm pretty sure there's no limits on what you can make. If you have a creature you want to make, go ahead, put it out there. You know? Get the Path of Titans dev kit and fully go ahead and work with it. Speaking of the dev kit, I do want to quickly say, there is a huge chunk of the people that will be toxic towards modders, and as soon as you mention, get the dev kit yourself and do it better, they instantly back down. Which, I just think that's kind of funny. Because these people will talk so much smack, say, I'm not the modder, I'm not supposed to be good at it, but you are, and you're awful. Okay. Why are you criticizing me? Do it yourself if it's that easy. It is not easy. Modding is not easy. Even the most simplest of mods take a minimum of a couple of months of hard work, or even up to a year minimum, just for like the most simplest of mods. And a lot of the modders in Path of Titans go above and beyond, because we could quite easily just get a brand new model with reused animations, reused abilities, and the only thing changed is a model and sounds. We could easily have just gone that. That could have been every mod in the game, and it wouldn't take long to do either. But we didn't. We got custom animations, custom textures, custom models, custom sounds, custom abilities, everything, even custom game mechanics, such as flesh grazing, where you could rip off a chunk of meat before that was even added. Other stuff, like ambushes. These have not been added by Alderon, but they have been added by modders. And it's cool. But unfortunately, that's not going to continue if people keep shoving it down the drain, you know? And being really rude and abusive about it. It's not just being toxic. The entire point of this video is people are genuinely going too far. Again, death threats. Sending death threats over a game like this is just there's no excuse. There is genuinely no excuse. If you're that mad about Path of Titans, you should not be playing Path of Titans. I'm gonna be honest. That just shouldn't be a thing. Now, I do want to quickly... I know I've said this a couple of times, but I do quickly want to get into one last thing. Modding is not a competition. The modders do not compete on making the best mod. One of the reasons the David Rosa Pachyrhinosaurus was discontinued is because too many people were saying, it's worse than KTOs, you should quit, you should get rid of this, other threats, simply because it wasn't to people's liking as much as KTOs. Modders are not competing with each other. They work together most of the time. Literally, modders will go out of their way to help other modders. They do not compete. PT and DB, for example, are the biggest examples. There are tons of people who are like, DB copied PT's Giga by making their own Giga, and they are trying to one-up PT with every mod that they do. Which, that's... If you think like that, just stop. They do not compete. Literally, DB, PT, they both help each other in tons of different things. Whether that's new mechanics, bug fixes, or even just general, help for modding. Animation fixes, other stuff like that. Just really simple stuff. Modders help each other. They do not hurt each other. And it's a big misconception in the community that modders want to compete against each other to see who can be the best and have the most popular mods and blah blah blah, which is just not the case. That is not at all what the Path of Titans modding scene is about. But anyway, I think I have spoken about this for long enough now. Again, I did not want to make this video. I hope I never have to cover it ever again. I hope the next time I mention something like this, I'm saying, the Path of Titans modding community's got so much better, thank you so much for improving, and blah blah blah. I hope that's the next time I make a video like this. I'm sorry it was so serious, or more of a serious video compared to the normal stuff. But yeah, that's basically it. Please, just, if you watch this video to the end, please make sure you do take it into mind every time you go and comment about a mod. Just, the modders are people too. Keep that in mind. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope you can understand where I'm coming from and where all the modders are coming from with this. And yeah, that's basically it. Have a wonderful day, everyone. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.